Mr. Potter, it has come to my attention that you are sadly unversed in the history of the relief pitcher. Then that, Mr. Potter, is what we shall discuss today on Sunday Baseball. Every team has a whole bunch of relief pitchers, right?
Right.
Larry Potter?
Right again.
Are you gonna do that for the whole episode?
I think so, Severus.
Back to the relief pitchers. Closers, middle inning guys, guys that pitch only to lefties, guys that pitch only to righties, all kinds of relievers. But here's the thing, the role of the relief pitcher has evolved more than any other role in baseball in the last 150 years. In the early days of baseball, there was no such thing as a relief pitcher. You started a game, you finished a game. Now, if you hurt your arm or got hurt in some other way, you might swap positions with another player, but often you might just continue pitching, which is why you had guys like Charlie Radbourn or Will White that started and completed 70 plus games in a single season. It wasn't really till the 1890s that pitchers would finish games they didn't start more than 10 times in a season. Clark Griffith, for example, as a rookie in 1891, finished 13 games. That mark would not be broken until 1905, when Clark Griffith, now winding down his career, finished 17 games. In between, he won 20 games 6 times in a season and became a Hall of Fame starter for Chicago. Now, this whole relief pitcher thing seemed to be at the time a Chicago thing because the most effective relief pitchers were the Cubs' Three-Finger Brown and the White Sox' Ed Walsh. Here's the thing though, both of these guys were like two of the all-time greatest pitchers ever, and they had rubber arms, so they were used as both starters and relievers. They were basically used whenever they could be used, and both of these pitchers at times led the league in both shutouts and saves in the same season.
That's a lot of pitching.
The first real relief specialist was Doc Crandall with the Giants in the teens. Now, Crandall was the first guy to finish 20 games in a season, and he did that 5 times with the Giants. But the first real relief pitching star was Firpo Marbury.
Knock knock.
Who's there, Santa?
Oh no, it's Hagrid.
I shall take care of this, Potter. Who is there?
Firpo.
Firpo who?
For potential drunkenness, I'd like to drink beer. Knock knock.
Who is there?
Marbury.
Marbury who?
More beer is good.
Was that Swedish beer?
It's not from Hogwarts, Mr. Potter.
Give me more beer.
Anyhow, Marbury was the first person to have 15 saves in a season and the first to have 100 career saves. In his 10 years with the Senators, he led the league in saves 5 times with a high of 22 in 1929. Now, another person I really want to mention here is Wilcie Moore.
Knock knock.
Who is there?
We'll see.
Wilcie who?
We'll see what the next insert is in just a moment. Knock knock.
Who is there?
More.
My patience is exhausted.
Morticia Adams.
Yes, Wilcie Moore, who exploded out of the bullpen with the 1927 Yankees, going 19-7 with 13 saves and a .228 league-leading ERA.
A reliever pitched enough innings to qualify to lead the league?
They all did, Larry. These guys weren't coming in and throwing to 2 or 3 batters. They were going several innings every time they came in. Hard work. In 1934, pitcher Jack Russell became the first relief pitcher ever chosen for an All-Star game. However, at the time, most of the relief pitchers were still star starting pitchers like Carl Hubble and Dizzy Dean. Johnny Murphy picked up where Marbury left off, leading the league in saves 4 times and making 3 straight All-Star teams. Finally, in the 1940s, the relief pitcher became more specialized. Ace Adams became the first reliever to appear in 70 games in a season and the first to appear in 60-plus games 3 seasons. Fireman Casey went 51-20 out of the bullpen for a .718 winning percentage, which is still the highest winning percentage for a relief pitcher who had more than 50 decisions. For the first time, relief pitchers began to get votes in the MVP election. Joe Page of the Yankees finished 4th in the MVP voting in 1947, taking the cult of the reliever to a whole new level. Now here's the thing. Page actually got 7 first-place votes for MVP that year, which was only 1 fewer than the actual winner, Joe DiMaggio, got, right? And Page topped himself in 1949 when he finished 3rd in the MVP voting and broke Firpo Marbury's record with 27 saves. But the relief pitcher went to a whole new dimension in 1950.
Almost as if by magic.
Thank you, Larry Potter.
No problem, Muggle.
Jim Constanti of the Phillies became the first relief pitcher ever to win the MVP award in 1950, leading the Phillies to their first pennant in 35 years. Now, Constanti came out of the bullpen to set records for games pitched, games finished, and relief wins, going 16-7 with 22 saves entirely out of the bullpen. In fact, the only time he started a single game that year was when he was chosen to start Game 1 of the World Series against the Yankees. Now, in that game, he gave up 4 hits and 1 run in 8 innings of pitching, but that 1 run was enough as he was shut out 1-0, and the Yankees swept the Phillies in the series. But the relief pitcher was now an acknowledged part of a successful team's arsenal and on his way to the specialized role he plays today. But what would happen to the relief pitcher in the 1950s and the 1960s? Would a relief pitcher win 24 straight games?
Yes.
Will a relief pitcher once again start the first game of the World Series?
Yes.
Will Adlai Stevenson successfully challenge Dwight Eisenhower for the presidency of the United States? These questions and more will be answered on future episodes of Sunday Baseball.
Give me more beer.
For more Sunday Baseball, like us on Facebook, and I'll post all kinds of cool and amazing stuff once or twice a week. Or more. It could happen every day. I'm crazy like that.